Yikes, you be like, hey yo, what's the price? Yikes, when it come to me, I do nothing twice. Yikes, 223, got you taking.
Another clue in a case tonight as police are searching for the man who they say hired someone to kill a woman later found dead at a car dealership.
Police arresting Stoney Williams, the man they say hired a hitman to kill his ex-girlfriend.
Courtney Owens was an employee at a dealership in Snellville. She was shot there last month.
However, the man police believe hired Vickers is Stoney Williams, the man they just caught in Texas.
So about a year ago, I did a video on Courtney Owens and the alleged mastermind behind her death, Stoney Williams. If you haven't seen that video, I highly suggest you go check it out. The link will be down in the description. But we're gonna jump right into it. Back on December 9th, 2022, 34-year-old Courtney Owens was shot inside her used car dealership in Gwinnett County.
Another clue in a case tonight as police are searching for the man who they say hired someone to kill a woman later found dead at a car dealership.
Local mother now another step closer to receiving some closure. This is after another arrest is made in her daughter's. Police arresting Stoney Williams, the man they say hired a hitman to kill his ex-girlfriend.
He faces multiple murder charges and an aggravated assault charge as well.
Back in December, Courtney Owens had stopped by her Royal Court Motors dealership in Snellville to finish up some paperwork.
Witnesses told police they saw a man carrying a gun walk inside Owens and then leave.
Now, police say that man was Wesley Vickers. Now, he was charged with her murder soon after. However, the man police believe hired Vickers is Stoney Williams, the man they just caught in Texas.
Police identified the shooter as 23-year-old Wesley Vickers, who was arrested nearly a month later on July 6, 2023, and charged in connection with the death of Courtney. Stoney Williams was accused of hiring Wesley to carry out the hit, but it wasn't until April 14, 2023, that police arrested Stoney in Pasadena, Texas. However, Stoney wouldn't serve any time in prison due to a legal technicality.
Defense lawyer in a high-profile for-hire case is asking the charges be dismissed, citing a speedy trial demand. But the prosecution says not so fast.
Gwinnett County and Gwinnett County's chief assistant DA says just last month the DA's office got a conviction on malice and more against the triggerman in the case of Courtney Owens. But in this speedy trial issue involves the case against the man who allegedly hired the killing. And the prosecutor says the victim's family and the people of Georgia deserve for his trial to go forward.
There's absolutely a very good chance that he could walk without going to trial.
The state's fully prepared to go to trial in the Stoney Williams case.
Gwinnett County's Chief Assistant District Attorney John Melvin says he fully expects Stoney Williams' trial to go forward next week for allegedly hiring a hit on someone once close to him, Courtney Owens, his ex-girlfriend and partner in a car dealership. Though Melvin acknowledges a speedy trial issue raised by the defense has made it a closer call than he would have preferred. Motion by Williams' defense says Williams, through his lawyer, filed a speedy trial demand, and that through his lawyer, Williams has appeared and announced ready for trial in every calendar call for the full 3 terms of court that his cases have been called for trial. It suggests the prosecution could have tried Williams immediately after it convicted co-defendant Wesley Vickers last month. Quote, but now it is too late.
Let the clock run out on this guy, and the state should be the one being held to task and not the defendant.
He says the issue is complicated because the state indicted Williams twice. The first time for malice, felony and aggravated, but the second time gun charges were added. Aurora says the defense position is because the speedy trial time expired for the first indictment, to try him on the murder and aggravated assault charges would be double jeopardy, meaning you can't be charged with crimes for which you have already been acquitted.
He'd receive a year on house arrest and 10 years probation in a plea deal. It was reported that the district attorney missed a deadline which impacted their ability to prosecute, but Stoney did plead guilty to conspiracy to commit and receive time served.
The mistake when it comes to timing from the DAs inside here in Gwinnett County may have made all the difference.
He should not be walking free. It's not fair, it's not right. Where's the justice for her?
Friends of Courtney Owens are heartbroken and frustrated after the man accused of hiring a hitman her accepted a plea deal, letting him never spend a day in prison.
He's allowed to be here, roaming the streets, enjoying life like we are, while she's buried under 6 feet of ground.
Back in 2022, Courtney Owens was downed at Royal Court Motors.
I was the one who called 911.
Police arrested Wesley Vickers for the... Vickers would then claim that he was paid to kill Owens by her ex-boyfriend and business partner, Stoney Williams.
He denies that he paid Wesley Vickers or anyone else any money in order to harm her. He had no desire to harm her.
Williams' defense attorney says his client maintains his innocence, but he never had to prove it in court.
The DA's office should be out there apologizing.
Manny Aurora is an attorney not associated with the case. See, Williams here filed for a speedy trial, starting the clock.
But it's now essentially 6 months from the time of the indictment to try it.
That clock ran out in early March, so Williams' attorneys filed to have the charges dismissed.
That's something pretty significant. You accused him one and then, you dropped the ball on the time to be able to try it.
So while waiting for the judge's ruling, the state struck a deal where Williams would get house arrest and probation.
Wesley, the man who pulled the trigger, was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. It was actually reported that Wesley had planned to also kill Stoney, the man who allegedly hired him for the hit.
There are a lot more developments that I'm going through, including the fact that detectives say that Vickers planned to double-cross Williams on the day of the murder.
I just want you guys to know that I appreciate all of the love and the support a whole lot in this situation. And this is kind of going to be my part one to the situation. It's going to be my part one to the story. I want to tell you guys how I feel about the justice system and what's going on. I have an issue with investigators and with prosecutors that only highlight what they think makes you guilty or what they think makes you look guilty, but they will hide and conceal all of the things that show that you're not. I want to tell you a little bit about my case. At first, the police thought that I killed my business partner, my ex-girlfriend. And they were saying, oh, well, did you do it and this and that? They were saying all of this stuff to me on the scene. And I was like, no, I was at the bank. I wasn't here. I got here and this had already happened. And then afterwards, I heard her friend say, well, it was this guy. And if it was this guy, then he must have paid him to do it. And that's how that narrative started. Right there on the scene, this guy that didn't know A from Adam just said that. Now, the guy that got convicted of the actual crime and the guy that got sentenced to life without, him and I had a conversation that morning. He came to my car dealership. He had been going through some problems with his girl, and he came to me about it. Now, you have to understand the background of this situation. This guy was very close to me and the victim. This guy had been to our homes, eaten with our families, and we had done so many things with this guy. We trusted him. We trusted him a whole lot. And, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But from what they said happened, they said that he came there. So I'm going to tell you my side of the stuff that I saw happen. He came to my dealership that morning and he asked and he said, hey, listen, I'm in some real trouble. I got some warrants and I need some money real bad. Can you lend me some money? Now, mind you, I had given this guy money several times. I had helped him a whole lot. I was paying for him to get a CDL license so he can get his life together. I'm the guy that got his real license for him, and I tried to offer him jobs here and there. He kept messing up and he wouldn't get his life together. He said, look, man, my girl, she's gonna cheat on me again because I can't help her out with the bills. Can you lend me like $3,000? And I looked him in his face and I told him, I've helped you a bunch of times. I can't do it, not today. And the reason I can't do it is because I got to give this girl $15,000 today. And that's all my extra cash that I can afford to give out today. And he snapped on me. Oh, you supposed to be like my pops and you won't even help me and you gonna give money to that girl. She don't care nothing about you and you gonna do that. Like, he snapped on me about that. And my problem with investigators is that they know this happened. They also know that that was the last time that I talked to that guy. And they know that a witness saw that whole conversation. And they ain't tell y'all none of that. They completely ignored that. They know I never talked to that guy since then, and that the victim was gone a couple hours later. And they ain't tell y'all any of that. They hid that from y'all just to make me look bad. And then at the end of the situation, when it's time to go to trial, they put me off. They wouldn't give me my trial. They wouldn't give me my trial, my lawyer said, because they didn't have enough evidence to convict me. And then they had his trial, and they convicted him. And then after that, they said, oh, well, we might have run out of time because we violated his right to a speedy trial. But the truth is that I was ready for trial and announcing ready for trial the entire time. My lawyer came to me and said, well, they have actually run out of time to try you because they didn't want to try you in the beginning because they didn't have any evidence. And he also said that they're gonna try you anyway, even though it's against the law for them to try you. So they've offered you this plea for just some probation that's terminated very early if you just do right. And you won't have to go through the spectacle of trial. You won't have to have all of your dirty laundry aired in front of the world. Your family won't have to go through the spectacle of the trial. And you can go home right now. And I've been in jail for a year. And my family's suffering financially. My kids are suffering emotionally. You can go home right now today. Or you can risk it all and go through trial and risk getting life by a fluke of some type of way, or have to appeal and you see that they're not willing to do the right thing right now. So it looked like it was in my best interest to take a plea. But I wouldn't take a plea if I had to lie and said I did something wrong. I took what you call an Alfred plea, where I could come home right then and I could say to the world and to the courts that I didn't do this. But what I'm doing is I'm taking this plea because it's in the best interest of my family and it's in the best interest of me.
Now, I may be missing something here, and I'm curious, because if Wesley wasn't hired, what reason did he have to do what he did? Because, I mean, the plan was to stage a robbery, but the only thing taken was Courtney's life. And if what Stoney claims is true, why did he run? But we'll continue to keep the Owens family in our thoughts and prayers. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know your thoughts on this down below. And if you haven't already and you feeling the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got more videos coming, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.
Yikes, you'll be like, hey yo, what's the price? Yikes, when it come to me, I do nothing twice. Yikes, 223, got you taking